Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining me today. My name is Laura Stranks and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. Welcome. Today, this is a fairly quick and easy card to do. The only difficult piece, and it's not difficult, is the fold on it, to get the fold right in the corner. It's called Corner Open Fun Fold. This is the first one I did, and I found it with the thickness of up in this top corner that it didn't stay shut too well, so it does still look nice. You could either tie a ribbon around with a bow, which means you've got to keep opening it all the time. But this second one, and that was in a retired paper that we had a while ago. It was just a practice one I did for myself. And this one here, as you can see, it's sitting down flat. I've chosen to put some magnets in the corners. So up, if you open it up the same way, and up under here, you won't be able to see them, they're under this DSP. I've put DSP in these corner folds, which I didn't on this one. And the magnets are underneath, both top and bottom. So you'd need two sets of magnets. You can hear them when they clip shut. So that way it held it shut a lot better. As you can see, it looks very pretty. There's nothing on the back, but you've plenty of rooming there to write. And that's how it works. I do get my magnets online at they're called Super Strong magnets actually, and I'll show you in a minute. I'll show you now actually one pair. They're only about 2 or 3 centimeters, not centimeters, millimeters across, and they're about 1 mil thick. I think they're 6 mil across from memory. I haven't got the label here now. I think they're about 5 or 6 mil across, and that's 2 there, and they're about 1 mil thick. You don't want them too thick because they're going in under the DSP. And you keep them, I've got the other pair there, but I've kept them separated because they keep clipping together all the time. So we'll get started. I'll put this other one away because I'm not happy with that, the way it keeps popping open all the time. But it was my practice one. Now I've got the measurements here and I've got everything prepared. And I'm just going to show you the scoring. I've got my inside pieces and I'll give you the measurements as we go. Just put all this to one side. I've chosen the DSP on this one is this beautiful daisy, Fresh as a Daisy it's called, DSP. And you can use the reverse side of, I chose a plain pattern on one side and then the flowery pattern on the other. But as you can see, it was that colour on the other side of that. So I went to a different pattern, which is this one here, and I didn't mind cutting up those smaller pieces. There's still 2 sheets in the pack, but I like that with that, so I chose those 2 colours. But there's also a lot more beautiful patterns in that paper. This is one of the pre-order ones. We've got, I'll pull these out for you. That was the big sheet at the front, with all different size mats for you to use, and that was the back of that one. Then we have this pretty green one. I almost did this card in this, but I like the mauve, the Moody Mauve, and that's got the grey, what's that one called? Pebble Path, that colour. It's got a lot of the new colours in. There's Boho Blue, Balmy Blue, some of the greens, I'm not sure. It looks like crushed curry. I didn't take much notice of the other colours, but they're all quite pretty in there. And this card, the last video I did, I chose a smaller pattern. This one's not too bad because you've got fairly big squares that you can pick up the full flower. The last one I did was in that blue with the white flowers on it, and that's that pack. The other pack was the blue one that we can do pre-order on. Can't think of the name of it. I'll just have a quick look. That was the Countryside Inn, which is this one here that I did put the Countryside Inn on that one. The bows on these, I use my bow maker. Did I keep it out? No, I didn't. Oh, yes, I did. It's just a little plastic stand thing, and you can choose what size bow you need. It's really quick. I'll show you how to do the bow without actually doing one because I've tied the bow for this one. But if you could make up a board for yourself and put the pegs in it. I've seen lots of handmade ones. This one I've had for years and years and years, and it's good for doing quick bows. And the blue is out of the last lot of In Colours Starry Sky, because I wanted something nice and fine to do a little bow. And today's bow I did with the Sweet Sorbet, because this really isn't, I always found it wasn't the actual Sweet Sorbet colour. It was more pinky, and the Sweet Sorbet's got more orange in it. So I thought it went quite nice with the mauve, Moody Mauve. So we'll use that one today. Now, we'll get started. My base, excuse me while I have a mouthful of water. I've been talking a fair bit today, I think, this morning. My cardstock base is 7 inches by 8 1/4 inches. And I'll get to the scoring in a minute. The fronts for my DSP, and you need 2 of, both the same size, and this is where I chose coordinating patterns. I didn't like that colour with this on the, it has got a little bit of that colour in there, but that didn't go nice for me. So you need 2 of these, and they measure 2.5 by 2.5, and you need 1 of each of 2 designs. So that's those pieces. And then the 2 smaller pieces, which is alternate corners, those 2 go down there, these 2 are this side, and you alternate them up and down. They measure 2.5 by 1 1/4, and there's 2 of those in the same coordinating colours. My inside basic white is 5 1/4 by 4 or 5 1/4. And I've just stamped some daisies inside that. I haven't done the centres of those. I'll do those in a minute. I'll get my other, I've got the inks and all still out. The magnets, the DSP under the magnet, so I'm going to cut these. They measure 2 3/8 by 2 3/8, and I've got 2 of those, and I'm going to cut them on the diagonal so they fit in under here. So you can choose whichever pattern you like. I felt the muted pattern was a little bit better under there. And that's 2 of those. I marked the back of those because they're a little bit bigger than, or a little bit smaller than the 2.5 ones. And then I thought they were going to be 2 1/4, but they were a bit too small. So I made them 2 3/8. A little bit bigger, I should say. And then I've just chosen this for a greeting on the front, as well as a happy birthday. I did fussy cut this one out of, I could have stamped a flower, but I fussy cut that one out of the paper. And that's just a spare piece over there. And that's all we need. And then my little bow I've got there as well. So that's all you need. And the scrap basic white for your greetings. 2 lots of dies, 2 lots of, sorry, not dies, 2 lots of magnets, just fine ones if you can get them. Doesn't matter if the diameter is a little bit smaller, so long as their thickness is really, really thin. So we shall get started. All this will be in the description of my video, so you don't need to write any of it down. I just want to quickly show you what I have done this year for my, because we had such a big revamp of colours and some shifting families and everything, I decided to do this. I did see another lady did a chart exactly the same, but her codes for her, because I'm in Australia, her codes were different. I think she was in America. So I I redesigned this whole thing for myself. I started from scratch and did it, similar lines to hers. But these colours on here, I can put the PDF in my Craft Room Tips and Tutorials, which is this group here where all my videos go, and my PDFs. I can put this chart in there, but you will need to punch your own, or die cut, or just freehand cut your own little colours. All it gives you is the chart, not the colours, because you can't print the colours through the printer, but you can print the chart. And I did use that's a word window punch, I think it was called. There is a couple of other punches that will fit in there, or you can just cut your own little square, cut them. It's about 3/4 of an inch, half an inch wide, and a couple of inches long, and they will fit in whatever fits in that slot. I wouldn't die cut them, it would take you forever to die cut them all, but freehand cut each one little colour would be fine. But that's my chart, and that way, because I forget, I was used to where all the colours were in the families, and now like Blackberry Bliss has moved from regals to neutrals, and a lot of them have changed around, and now we've got Highland Fresh Freesia over here in the subtles, so a lot of them have changed, and I go to this first before I if I'm picking a colour, trying to find a colour in my stack over the back. Okay, we shall get started. First of all, and I have already cut this to size, but excuse me, I'm going to score on my scoreboard because I found it a little bit easier, and I'll show you why. So we're going to start on the long side, and you can see the long from the short. It's quite a bit different. This is 8 1/4 up this side. So you're scoring on the long side at 2 3/4, and you want the finer end of your stylus, and you're going to 2 3/4, and you're scoring down, flip it around, and 2 3/4 again. So that's there. So you've got a cross up here on the side. That will be the corner of your card up here. Now we're going to do another little score piece. We're going to start with the smaller sections at the top. And what I mean by smaller sections, this is the smaller section at the top. With that up the top, put a tick mark, and a tick mark, you're just going to use your stylus and go across and put a tiny little score just at the top so you can see it. It's no good using a pencil for this because this is going to get flipped and you won't see the pencil mark on the other side. So score just a little tick at the top here, which is at 5 1/2, and just put a little mark there, if you can see that little tick mark. Then, and I did this in a sequence, we're going to flip this way and turn. So I'll do that again. I go flip end for end and then turn. And you can see we're going to do 5 1/2 again, so long as this smaller square here is up on your left hand side, up in the top here. So you're going to do 5 1/2 again, and just a little tick there. So that's all you need to do there. Now we're going to line up, you'll see the tick marks down here, and they're both 5 1/2 inches from this corner where this smaller square is. So I have these black lines on they're just done with black permanent marker. It just gives me something to line up if I'm scoring on a diagonal line. So I'm going to put that little tick mark there on that black line there, and the tick mark here, when I find it, is over here. So the tick mark's there, it's on that black line, and the tick mark is here, and it's at the end of that black line. I hope you can see that. So I'm going to score from one tick mark to the other, and it will go through this cross piece here on the 2 score lines. So you're going to go down like, yes it did. I hope it did. Yes it did. Just double checking. So it's gone through the centre of that crossover piece. So it was 5 1/2 from each corner, and then crossed over. And that's all you need that scoreboard for. We'll put that aside. Now we're going to fold, and I need this piece here up in this top corner. So I'm going to fold this down like so. So your horizontal and vertical lines will go into valley folds. So that's that one. And this one here is your vertical, which goes valley. Then this one, this diagonal line will come into a mountain. So it will go this way. And don't worry if you've folded them the wrong way. You can flip it and do it the correct way after. Now all you're going to do is take where this diagonal line is, take it and pinch it inwards like that, and maneuver this so that your edges are nicely, and looks like mine have gone perfect this time. You've got to get something right sometimes. Try and get that to a nice point at the top and burnish those really, really well. And that is your base for your card. So I'll just do that again. We've folded the vertical, this one here, and horizontal, that one there, in valley folds. And then we flipped it over, and the diagonal one we've folded into a mountain fold. And then bring it back over, pull these two, pinch these from corner to corner here, and bring it down like so. And then burnish it all nicely. I'll just push that in a little bit so it's nice and even. And then all we have to do is decorate. And I'm making sure when I get to the magnets that I put them on before I put the DSP on. But we'll do this front section first. And I want this flower up in this top corner. And I'm just going to use my liquid glue. Put that aside and get this over. Make sure we've got the right piece. And we're just going to put liquid glue on this. Not a lot. We don't want it oozing out everywhere, although I've gone a bit close to the edge. This design I did case from Susan Campfield. She didn't use magnets, and she did a few different things to what, or I've done a few different things to what she did, but that's where I got the inspiration for this card. So that's that one, and then we have this one, which will go down the bottom. I do like Susan's cards that she makes. She's got some lovely ideas and easy to change things around to suit yourself. So that one goes down there, and we can put a bit of layering on the front because it doesn't matter if it's a bit bulky on the front. Then we've got the two smaller pieces, and I'm going to put that one down there and that one up there. But before I do that, I'm going to put this white piece inside, and I stamped those with Moody Mauve, and I didn't mention the colours. I've got Moody Mauve and Bubble Bath are the two colours. This cardstock is Bubble Bath. Very pretty pink. We finally got a nice pretty pink. So I'll just glue that white piece down in first, so we can put the other piece of DSP on the top. And that just has a nice little even border all the way around. The other blue card that I did, you would have noticed, it has just a strip of DSP down on the inside. Something different. When you can't think of how to decorate the inside, just cut a strip of DSP, half, 3/4 of an inch, whatever suits. So that's that piece. Now this piece can go in the corner. There's my phone, but it can keep ringing because it's usually just a junk call. So if they want me, they'll ring back. I'll just let it ring. We don't get many calls on our home phone, and most of the time they're junk. And I think it was because they hung up fairly quickly. So that will go down in there on the white. Nice and even, a little border around the edge of that. Just move that over a fraction. And then the top piece up here will go up there. I haven't cut the diagonal bits yet. I'll just show you how to do those, and I cut the two together so it would be nice and even. You can use the front and back of this paper if you wish, instead of cutting a different pattern altogether. If they'd had this on the back of this piece, I would have used the same piece of paper, but they didn't, so I've done it this way. Now I can finish the decorations on the front. I've chosen this one. This greeting is out of the cheer. I'll get the sets out and show you. I'll show you how I do my ribbon in a minute. That's the Sweet Sorbet metallic woven ribbon, which is carried over from last year. I used Bubble Bath and Moody Mauve in the inks. The little dies, I'll show you those in a minute. Charming Sentiments. The birthday greeting is from wishing you, this one here, Cheerful Daisies, wishing you the brightest birthday. I love all the daisies in this one. And also this one, Just For You, I've chosen out of the Charming Sentiments. I love the way the die is cut out, fussy cut the greetings, and then I fussy cut that flower, and that I'm going to put that on there just to take away a bit of the plainness. I've already put my dimensionals on, which I did have a little rubbish pot somewhere. Here it is. I like to have a little pot handy to put my backings on. Saves me picking them all up later. I've seen some ladies, they just wipe them aside, but I think if you put them in a little pot, it just goes straight in the bin. I put some of the mini ones on here, and I also cut some of the mini ones in half because I wanted the leaves to sit up nicely as well, and the backings of those are a little bit harder to get off. So that's that, and we shall put this down here. I'm going to move it to one side so that those flowers stay inside the base piece there. So that's that one. And this one here, I've used these, this is the Stylish Shapes dies, the circles. So I just put two together and cut this little, I was trying to get I was going to do just a solid image with that, and it looked a bit big and it was covering most of that. So then I put these two together, and I've just got this little circled frame, and that way you can still see a bit of the colour behind. And I've got one dimensional on the back of this to sit up, but we will glue this down first. I'll just glue it flat. I'm getting used to these new in colours. At first when I saw them, I'm going to move that up a little bit because I want my bow down underneath that. So that's down flat, and my greeting, which I took the back off, and now I've lost it. It's probably stuck on the back of something. Where did it go? I just took the back off it. Oh, here it is on the back of my finger. I knew I just took the back off. That's why you don't take the back off too early. I'm just going to sit that in there like so, and I'm going to put the bow on with a glue dot, and I will show you in a minute how I tie my bows. This is a triple bow. The one on the blue one was only a double one, but you can do it when you've got fine ribbon like this. You can do as many loops as you like. This one's going here. I might just snip the ends of that a little bit. We can do all this front section first, and then I can do the magnet pieces. I'll just snip a little bit off those ends so they're not quite as long. So that's the front, and I'm going to put some embellishments on that. Put that there, and I will show you now how I do this bow. So we've got this little machine apparatus, and the ribbon, where I ever put it, I know it's right in front of me here underneath. And you don't have to take it off the roll to start with. And I will cut a piece and make a bow. I can use the bow somewhere else. So I just start at the back like this, and I loop it as many times as I want. So 1, 2, whoops, it slips up. 1 loop, that's 1 loop. I'll start again. If you want just a single bow, you're just going to do that. And then you're going to cut that off and then do what I'm going to do at the end. If you want more than 1 loop, and I'll do 3 on this one. So we're going to go, you'll see how many loops are on each pole. So that's 2 loops there, and that will be 3 loops. So you can see you've got 3 down the sides, and there will be 3 over this side when I just undo that. That's 3 on each side. Then you can pull that around so you've got enough tail for yourself. Snip this off, and this part, the right hand, well, I'm right-handed, so I go right hand over the other one, push the right hand piece, which will now be in your left hand, underneath, bring this one in your right hand over the top, and just tie a knot. Just a single knot when we get it right. This works nicely with fine ribbon or twine, not so much with the new ribbon that we've just got in the new in colours. It's a little bit thick. And then slide that off, and you've got your 3 loop bow. And you can do as many loops as you like, and then I just snip the ends. I won't snip the ends on that because I can pull it apart later and use it. So that's how you do your little bow. How easy is that? I do all my bows for my girls for my workshops. They do appreciate it. Now we'll do this inside piece, this magnetic piece. We need these 2 pieces, and the pattern doesn't really go either way, so it's sort of a muted pattern. I'll just get my trimmer. We're going to cut it on the diagonal. So I'm going to put the top point in the track and the bottom point in the track. And when you're cutting, well, I've got 2 together, so it probably wouldn't be so bad, but if you're cutting DSP from point to point, I always start in the middle. If you start here and you pull, or down you pull, it will drag and it will probably curl up your paper. So start in the middle and go up and down, and that is your 4 diagonal pieces. So we can, and I'll show you how I do the magnets. I'll just do 1 corner at a time. We'll get 2 of them. Oh, that one went underneath my somewhere. Just excuse me for a minute. I'm not sure where it went. There. You wouldn't believe how strong they are. I've got my Big Shot sitting there, and the suction of the magnet, it just sucked it underneath my cut and emboss machine and hooked it to the metal piece under there. So what you're going to do, back onto this subject, we shall get a glue dot and put it on the back of, I've got the 2 together here, so you've got the positive and the negative holding them together. Put a glue dot on one side like that. Now you don't want these too close to the edge. I'm going to do this corner first. Just put that. You want it in a fair bit so that you've got room to put the DSP around it. And you'll see, like so, that will go on there, and it's still far enough in that it's going to cover all the way around. So we'll put that there, and then I did put a piece of tear and tape over the top of that just to make sure it's secure. Actually, we need a glue dot first. The tear and tape goes on after. We put another glue dot on that side, and then we'll close that shut, and that will pick up that other magnet to move it to the other side. So then you know they're in the exact right spot where they need to be. And I'm just going to put a piece of tear and tape over the top of that just to have it more secure. Hold it down. By the time we get all these glue bits on it, it's not going to go anywhere. Just push that around a bit. And the same with this one. My tear and tape's almost run out. Piece over the top of that side, not too close to the edge, otherwise you're going to see it out the side of the DSP. Then we can put some multi-purpose glue on the backs of these, right into the corner, so that you're going to go all the way around. And that one will go over the top of that. Give it a good press down around the magnet. Be careful not to tear it. That's why you do need the magnets in a fair way. So it's going to cover, the DSP will cover it. Got butterfingers today. And this one here will go on there. And then we're right to do the other side. Nice bit of a border around it. Just give it a minute to hold down. I think it finishes it off nicely too with the bit of DSP in under those, and you'll hear it clip like so, shut. And then we can do the other side. We'll undo that one, and what I did on my other one, I marked it. So with a pencil, you want the magnet here and here, in case you forget where you're going to put your magnets. Then you can lay it out flat. And we'll get the other two magnets before they slide in under the cut and emboss machine. Just making sure I have got two there. And then we'll have a glue dot on that side. In a bit from the corner. Oops. Just make sure it clamps back the right way. Another glue dot on top of that one without picking it up with your finger. Close it shut and then open it up, and then tear and tape on the top. Tear and tape's not over necessary, but it just gives it a little bit more hold down inside, so it will not move. And the thickness, by the time you take the backing off, it's not going to interfere with the magnet. Give it a good push down. Backings off those. And then a bit of liquid glue. If you wish to subscribe to my channel, don't forget to hit the like button, and there is a little subscribe button down the bottom. Love you to subscribe. I'm nearly up to 500 subscribers on my channel, and I've only been going about 6 or 7 months or so, so I'm really happy with that. I love doing what I'm doing. I've been doing a couple of market stalls lately, but not having much luck with them. So I've decided I might just try some more classes at home. Fancy fold cards like this one, 3D projects. The girls are quite keen to learn something new. At the moment we just do normal standard cards. Not they're quite detailed, but not fancy fold and 3D. So I thought I might start up a couple of classes with those for people that want to progress a little bit. And that is that, where it clips shut. Nowhere near as bulky. Now I have got some embellishments to put on. I'm going to use these new ones, which I'm not sure that the pink will show up. I might just put them in the center of the flowers. They're quite shiny, these new ones. They're called 2325 in color dots, and they are so pretty. I've already got 2 packs of these. I haven't used this color yet, and I do like the big ones. Actually, I might use the medium ones on these. I'll put one in each of these centers. So we've got 3 flowers here that we can pretty up. Actually, I'll do the 4 flowers, and then we'll put one down the bottom of the greeting right there. How pretty is that? Love those embellishments. And that is it. How quick is that? And they do sit nice and flat compared to the other one, which I don't know where I put it. It will probably get, I could always go back and put magnets on the other one, but that one sits nice and flat for you. So that's it from me today. I hope you enjoyed that. A little bit quicker video. Just follow my instructions, and the PDF will be up on my tips and tutorials page. I've also got a Facebook page called Cards by Laura. There's a lot of nice designed cards in there. There's no tutorials or anything in there, or PDFs. So go ahead and just ask to join this one, Laura's Craft Room Tips and Tutorials, and I'll accept your invite to join, and off you go. I hope you loved that today, and I'll talk to you all again next week. Have a lovely week. Bye.